I don't really have snacks, but I guess like a sweet and salty popcorn, if I had to, that would be like the classic mix. It's kind of more of a habit. I don't know if I enjoy it. I think it's just the habit of doing that. So yeah.
My favorite cinema snack is salted popcorn every single time. People try to overcomplicate it with salted and sweet, which is nice, but for the classic cinema experience, I want to go back to basics. Salted popcorn.
I think it has to be popcorn, mixing salt and sweet, mix of the two. I feel like going to watch a movie without a bag of popcorn, I feel quite naked.
A popcorn and a Ben & Jerry's.
Butter or no butter?
Ooh, butter feels like a very American thing to like add into the mix, and I'm not mad at it. When I cook it at home, I cook it with butter actually. So yeah, it gives it that extra little bit of zhuzh.
Do I prefer going to the cinema alone or with friends? I would have to say alone. Yeah. I think it's just more personal in a way. I like to let like a piece of film kind of resonate with me for some time before I formulate like an opinion on it.
I probably like to go cinema more with friends than on my own.
Well, I don't know, it depends on the genre, right? Like sometimes I just want to see it by myself and immerse myself in it. Sometimes if it's a comedy, I want to have a laugh with my friends.
I generally prefer going to the cinema with friends. I think it's better to share the cinematic experience with people.
I prefer watching movies on the big screen because then I get to feel all the elements that the filmmakers have put into them, and being an actor now, I've come to appreciate that more. So like you just get better sound than the sound you get from your laptop, do you know what I mean? Having said that though, I love being snuggled up at home on a blanket.
That's actually really tough. I love a big screen, but I also love a little sofa moment. But the big screen.
I prefer watching movies on the big screen, definitely. Snuggled up on the sofa is fine for like everyday activity, but if you want a real experience, I think you need to be in a darkened room with a huge screen.
I prefer watching movies on the big screen. I think that's kind of what they're made for, you know? There's an element of going to see them with other people as well, that shared experience.
The film? Well, it depends on what the film is. Sometimes they're bad. No, I really like trailers actually.
Being in a dark room with a massive screen. And I like the sound, I like the soundscape in a cinema.
My favorite thing about a trip to the cinema is the trailers, because you get this an eclectic of different, you know, films that are on their way out, gets you excited. Yeah, I like the trailers.
One of my favorite things about a trip to the cinema is to get to see the trailers, because I'm notoriously bad at keeping up with what's actually happening, even though this is my career. So it helps me stay informed with what's actually going on. And again, I think it's nice to get the cinematic experience of a trailer rather than just watching it on my phone on YouTube while I'm on the tube, you know?
My favorite movie genre, I think, is like an indie romance. I love like a indie love story, and not a rom-com, but a love story.
Favorite movie genre at the moment is probably like a psychological thriller.
I think my favorite movie genre is magical realism, or anything that has that element in it, but is very much story and narrative driven.
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite genre. I'm not very specific. I'm in the phase where I'm just trying to try everything and watch as many films as possible, and then I'll figure out what my tastes are further down the line.
A genre that I really cannot watch is gore. I can't do it. Like snapping bones and like organs coming out of and I was going to be a doctor. Can you imagine? I think it's the people who do the sound effects. They just make it sound like it's inside my own brain. So yeah, no, can't do that. Can't do gore.
And one I can't do at the moment is a rom-com. Actually, I'm just not in the mood. Coming up to Valentine's Day, it's just to get on my nerves.
A genre that I'm kind of least likely to watch would be slasher movies, you know, like horror. I don't mind horror as a genre because it can really bleed into other different types of work, but straight out jump scares and slasher movies, yeah, I'm not down.
The most exciting thing is just to be able to celebrate this whole thing and to make films, and to be able to be lucky enough to even make films and audition for parts that are interesting. And so to be noticed with these 4 other candidates, and one of them is one of my best friends in the entire world, so I'm just happy about that. We're gonna get to celebrate all together. It'll be really lovely.
I think the most exciting thing about being nominated as an EE Rising Star is that you get to have a bit of a moment, you get to have a bit of a celebration, you get to become aware that a wider audience is really resonating with your work. And it's a really encouraging moment, I guess, moving forward. It says that people are maybe excited about what you're doing and kind of encouraging you into the future.
To get to go and celebrate with everyone that has like helped me to get here, and to cheer on other people and then go and have a great party afterwards and just celebrate the film industry and how much we all love it.
The most exciting thing about being nominated for this award is the opportunity to meet the other nominees, some of whom I knew from before, some of whom I didn't know, but I think what's so great about what BAFTA and EE do for this award is they, create lots of opportunities for us to talk to you guys and to support each other. So I've really enjoyed getting to know them, and it's always really fun, rather than just turning up on the day and seeing who wins. And it also means that, for me, it takes the kind of competitive nature out of it. So for me, I'm like, we're all winners at this point, and yeah, whoever wins, I'll be screaming their name.